Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another set of beautiful nails, and this time we'll be doing a pink and white ombre nail. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with this white acrylic, and I'm just going to do the tip on all the nails. So as you can see, I'm getting about 1 or 2 small beads, and I'm just doing those on the tips, and I'm not doing it too thick because I like to do pink, white, and clear as well whenever I'm doing my pink and white, so I don't want that white too thick. I am using my Mia Secret acrylic, and I'm also using my OPI acrylic brush. And I also want to mention that it is easier to just go ahead and do the white tips on all the nails and then go back and do the pink. I find that it's easier, and then it takes less time as well because it really takes no time to lay that white acrylic down. Alrighty, and this pink that I'm using, it is not by Mia Secret. I believe it's a Tammy Taylor pink acrylic, but I did kind of add a little pink pigment to it to make it a little bit darker. But as you can see, it's really not giving me a very full coverage that I want. So I've already ordered my Mia Secret pink cover acrylic, so hopefully it comes in pretty soon, because I was having a little bit of a hard time to try to get the acrylic to cover up the white completely. So make sure that if you're doing this, that you have a color that's very opaque so it'll cover over the pink, so you won't be able to see where the pink and the white meets. Alrighty, and like I said, I also like to use my clear acrylic because a lot of the time the pink turns out to be a little bit thick, especially since I said that I was having to add a little bit more pink because I wasn't getting the coverage that I wanted. So since the back of the nail closer to the cuticle area was pretty thick, I wanted to add some of that clear acrylic to even it out. But you can just use the pink and white, which is what I usually do, but like I said, this pink wasn't working out too good, so I had to use clear as well. Another important thing is whenever you're doing acrylics, you want to make sure that you clean around the cuticle area really good. You don't want to have any acrylic on the skin because it will cause lifting if you don't file it off at the end. So remember, you want to clean really good around the cuticle area, and you also want to make sure that you keep your brush really clean, because if you get any acrylic stuck in a brush, it will cause you to not be able to lay your acrylic down, because all that acrylic will just keep getting stuck to your brush. And also, when you're done laying your acrylic, you need to make sure you clean your brush really good, and you can do this by setting it in a little dapping dish with brush cleaner, or I like to use acetone and other people like to use monomer, so whatever works for you. But make sure you keep that brush clean really good, and you want to just soak it for about 10 minutes. Alrighty, so now we're just going to reshape the nail, and remember, when we're doing this, we're just redefining that shape, because after we lay down our acrylic, it kind of takes away a little bit of the shape, so we're just going back and redefining that shape. I am using my nail files, which I have available on my website, so I'll leave the link in the description. Alrighty, so now we're going to go in with our e-file, and I'm using my fine drill bit, which I'll have on my website pretty soon. And yeah, so you basically just want to file the nail really good. As you can see, I focus mainly on that cuticle area. I start from one side to the other, and as you can see, I keep my file moving. I don't stay in one spot for too long, because it will eventually cause friction, which will cause your client's nail to start burning. So remember, you want to keep that file moving. You want to file really good around that cuticle area, because if you don't, and if you keep that acrylic on the cuticle, it will lift. So as you can see, I start from one side and I just move it all over the nail. And if you do have a pretty good acrylic application, you won't have much filing to do. As you can see, I mainly focus on that cuticle area, because that's really how you prevent your lifting. And also, if you do a really good job at prepping the nail from the beginning, it will prevent a lot of your lifting as well. Alrighty, so now I'm just going to buff the nails, and whenever you're buffing the nails, this is just to smooth them out, because if you weren't to buff them and you were just to move on to the polish application, you will be able to see like little scratches left from your e-file or from your hand file. So you want to go back and smooth them out. Then I'm going to clean them off, or you can have your client wash their hands, whichever one you prefer, and then we'll be moving on to the nail art. Alrighty, so the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to blank out her pinky. So I'm using this holographic polish by Color Club, and we're just going to do that on the pinkies. And the reason why I do a color underneath my bling is so that if one rhinestone fall off, you won't be able to notice, because you have something that matches this under there. So now I'm doing a tip with white gel polish on the middle finger, and this will be a marble nail, so I'm just doing a white base, and then we're going to cure that for 30 seconds, and we're going to do the same thing on the other hand. Alrighty, so I'm going to go back to the first hand, and I'm going to do my marbles. So I'm using my nail art paint by Broadway in the color black. And as you know, I like to do my marble with this regular polish, and I dab my lines with acetone. I go back and redraw my lines, dab them again with acetone, and then redraw them again. So I do have a video on how to do marble nails if anybody is interested. There's different ways to do it, but this is the way that I prefer every time that I'm doing it. It's pretty easy and it's fast as well. So once again, I draw my lines, and this is a nail art paint by Broadway, which you can find at your local Dollar General. I dab my lines with a little bit of acetone, and then I go back and redraw the lines. I go back in and dab my lines again, but this time I just gently, barely even dab them, and then I go back in and retrace the lines again. And whenever you're doing this, you want to like wiggle your brush around so you don't just have a straight line, but you actually have that marble look. And then now I'm going to go in, and I'm going to use my SS6 and the SS12 rhinestones. I'm using my wax pencil and my Mia Secret gel resin to apply the rhinestones. Alrighty, so remember, whenever you're applying the bling, you want to make sure that you apply it as if it was a puzzle. You just want to alternate from size to size, and then you just want to fill in the little gaps as you go. And I usually like to work my way around the nail, so I start from the center, go over to the right, and just work my way around, and then just fill in the center. Alrighty, I'm also going to go ahead and apply my gel top coat. So I am using my IBD gel top coat, and it is a non-cleanse, so I don't have to go back and wipe anything off. So I'll leave the link in the description, and if anybody is interested. Alrighty, so now I'm going to go in and apply this gold strip on their nail. And remember, the key to keeping these on is you want to make sure that you cut the strip as close as you can to that nail. And then after you do a top coat, you want to come back to it afterwards and file any little strip that's hanging off, and then do another top coat. And after doing that, you shouldn't have any problems with them coming off at all. Alrighty, so after that hand dry, we're going to go back and file the sides of those strips. And remember, you want to feel on it to make sure you don't feel no little strip hanging off. If not, you want to go back and file. And then we're going to do a second coat of that top coat, and we're going to cure it for another 60 seconds, and that will be it. Alrighty, y'all, so this is the final look. They turned out really pretty. They look so classy, yet they're pretty simple. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook at GetNailed32, and stay tuned for more videos to come.